Alright, so here I got another battle for you. A very good battle this time, unlike the other one. It's against a guy from the Smogon Wi-Fi Battle Me Finder thingy. And, yeah, I'm using a team here that was given to me by Cheesebymyself, aka Cheesebymyself. I think that's what he's called now on YouTube. Definitely one of the best OU battlers out there. Well, in terms of YouTube uploaders anyway. But go check him out. He gives me teams. He's a cool guy. He makes strong teams. As you can see, it's sand. Typical, boring, good shit. Good, effective sand. That's what I like to see. So just an overview. I don't really want to disclose too many details about this team, but you guys will see it's fairly effective against a lot of common threats. Most of you somewhat experienced battlers should be able to tell that it has checks and counters to a lot of the major threats of the metagame. And in case you're wondering, no, my emulator does not run this slow. It actually runs at normal speed, but I slowed it down because I need to talk. So here's the other guy's team. He's using what's it called, a water team, a rain team. I don't know why I said water, but yeah, he's got the common Polytoad lead, obviously, and the Jirachi, which is more than likely specially defensive with Wish. A Brellum, which normally isn't seen on rain teams, but I'm guessing it's probably the common sub punch with Spore. And the Tornadus, which is always a big threat. If he manages to win the weather war, Specs Hurricanes are definitely a problem. Gliscor, whatever the fuck, he kind of checks my horse, but the rest of my team could kind of handle it, so I'm not too worried about that. And Rotom is, depending on the set, he's kind of annoying with the scarfing volt switch, but it's nothing I shouldn't be able to handle because I do have some shit that can handle it. Mainly my Celebi, and I can always outspeed it. Even if it's scarfed, I got a scarfed Terrakion, so that'll work. So on to the battle. I decided to lead off with Rotom since Rotom is a major threat to pretty much every single rain team. Gastrodon's really the only thing on a rain team that could kind of check Rotom, but not this Rotom. So I went straight for the Volt Switch, not really caring if he went into Gliscor or Gliscor, because whatever, I don't give a fuck. I thought he might protect just to scout, but it turns out he just decides to stay in here, and judging by that damage, I think it might be Specs. But in any case, Celebi should still be able to take an Ice Beam, even if it's Specs, due to its natural special bulk. And he makes really bad use of his Polytoad. He pretty much lets me destroy it with within the first 2 turns. So I don't give a fuck. That means I win the weather war. So now this guy's gonna come in here. The rain is still up at this point, and he is threatening my Celebi with the Hurricane. So I'm gonna go into Tyranitar. He could predict my Tyranitar, go for the what's it called, the hammer arm, and destroy me. But even if that's the case, I'm gonna be able to get up my sand. The downside to that would be that I don't get up Stealth Rock, but as you can see, he decides to go for the U-turn and brings in Brellum. So I'm gonna go into my Skarmory as a sleep fodder, which is then gonna allow me to bring in Celebi and resist basically every single one of Brellum's moves and threaten him out with an HP Fire. And since I've already gotten rid of the rain, HP Fire is going to do quite a bit. I'm not going to win a KO, but it should do a lot. So I'm going to go straight for the HP Fire. And he decides to bring in his Jirachi, and that pitiful damage basically confirms that he's the specially defensive version. So here, I know he might body slam. I could get a Skarmory, but Skarmory's asleep, so it's not going to be able to do too much. And he could also predict the Skarmory and go for Thunder. Even though I don't really need Skarmory at this point, it's still going to be, Skarmory's still going to play a role with Death Fodder and just keeping the sleep activated, since you know, Brellum is still around. So here, I went for the nasty plot. I really didn't care. He went for Thunder, or no, he went for Stealth Rock. Shit happens. I don't fucking know. But he switches out to Rotom. I'm not really too sure why, since Rotom really is not going to be able to do anything at all to my Celebi, unless he's running one of PK sets with like Signal Beam. Then that'll totally catch me off guard. I wasn't really worried about Trick, since it's still relatively early on in the game, and he's probably gonna keep a Scarfer for my Landorus and my Terrakion. So I was predicting the Tornadus guy to come back in to resist the Giga Drain, but he decides to go instead out to his Brellum, which didn't work out at all since I knew he was scarfed. I knew he would volt switch, and I kind of thought he'd go out to Tornadus, so hidden power fire was the best move I had to make and killed off the Breloom. So we both go out to Rotom since Celebi dies due to the sandstorm, and I'm not scarfed, but he is, so he's gonna be able to outspeed me. I'm just gonna go for the volt switch, knowing he's probably gonna go for the volt switch as well, so I can pretty much scout out what he wants to go to. And he brings out his Gliscor, so my volt switch fails, and here I'm not choiced, but I'm gonna go for the volt switch again just to make him think that I'm choiced. And I was kind of actually thinking he'd go for protect, because a lot of people do that to scout just to make sure to double check. He decides to go for taunt for some reason, and since I went for volt switch again, I'm able to hydro pump the next turn and fuck his shit up. Luckily it didn't miss, but he's gonna bring in Rotom. I still need my shit, so I'm gonna go into Scarm. Breloom died, don't need sleep fodder, and it's not really gonna be doing too much. It's probably not gonna wake up anytime soon, so I pretty much went to it for it to die, but it decides to live. He goes out to Jirachi, and he's probably gonna go for the Thunder since he is using a raid team, and the common there's a common Jirachi set running around with the Thunder and Ironhead. So I went to Landorus predicting the Thunder. He decides to go for Wish and stays in, I guess thinking I'd over predict, but I just fucking shit up with the Earthquake. Brings in Rotom again. Skarmory is gonna go in there to die finally, and now I'm kind of in a situation because the remainder of my poke can get potentially one hit KO'd by Hydro Pump besides Tyranitar. And just in case I'm able to live, I'm gonna go for the Stealth Rock. I could go for Crunch, but I don't really need the extra damage. I know that my Terrakion is gonna be able to outspeed him, and once he's at around half, I should be able to one hit KO him with the close combat. So Stealth Rock is gonna be more beneficial because I'm still a little bit worried about the Tornadus, because you know it's a Tornadus and it's powerful, as you guys, those of you that saw Shofu's video know that shit is really good. So I'm locked into close combat. It's still gonna do a lot, but I don't want to let Horse die, so I'm gonna go into Rotom to die. He goes for Hammer Arm though, which is gonna allow me to bring in my Landorus and finish off the game with It's Fine and Hidden Power Ice. One hit KOs at that point. So comment, rate, all that shit. I'm out.